with brands?
Yeah.
Do you think there's too many collaborations going on, or do you think there aren't enough? And the reason why I asked this question is because brand collaborations are great. It's dope. You're pretty much building relationships and crossing audiences to build bigger ones. But sometimes maybe some brands don't need that.
Certain collabs are like, they are doing amazing, and it's like, yes, keep pumping it out. And then there's other ones where it's like, you had your run and the time might be gone. I don't know if I can specify any specific brands or anything in this. If anybody's gonna get mad,
please feel free, bro.
Okay, let me give you an example.
This is Branding Like a Pro. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Branding Like a Pro. I'm your guy, Denis Boateng, and this is where we pretty much break down branding, teach branding, make it fun by using sports and culture. And here today, we're going to be having some dope conversations with my guy, DJ Willingham, also known as DJ Sneakerhead from the DNA show. What's up, bro? How you doing?
All right. How you doing, bro? Appreciate you for having me. I love talking about stuff like this.
Hey, look, man. First and foremost, thank you for your patience. Before we got to this moment here, like you said, it's just one of those things that content creators have to go through sometimes with technical difficulties. But thank goodness that we're here finally.
Yes.
But I want to break down a little bit, let people know how we met. We met actually in Vegas. Here in Vegas, where I live now, and it was through Grow with Video Live by Think Media, because we like knowing what's going on in the industry, staying on top of the education, seeing what the new trends, tricks, all of that that's going on that can help us grow our brands. And I think, bro, while we were there, I was like, man, I was literally like checking everybody's feet, because I'm like, yo, I need to see some sneakerheads in here. I hope I see some sneakerheads. And then I saw you. Yeah. I think the first day I saw you, but it was so much going on. I was like, yo, he got some heat on his feet. And then the second day I was like, I got to say what's up to bro. I got to talk to you. So we linked up, clicked right then and there. And you just told me about what you had going on. And you just been solid ever since then. So I appreciate you for that, man.
Yeah, bro. It's funny you said that, because every time I go to obviously sneaker related stuff, I'm going to pull out something crazy. But if I'm going to something like that, I noticed I got to wear something that's going to, we talked about branding myself. I got to be branded as a sneakerhead. So I got to be wearing something, and I always got to wear something that stands out. It may not even be the $7,000 pair of shoes, but it's the one that catches your eye. It makes you like, oh, what is that? So sometimes I can wear those cheaper shoes that I know will get compliments and different things like that might pop out or stand out from everybody. So you saw me wearing a yellow shoe, an all yellow shoe, and then the next day I had a shoe with a pattern all over it. So those type of things for me, when it comes to myself and coming to events, that's how I kind of get people's attention, just subtly doing those things.
Hey, nah, man, you did great. You did amazing, bro. The branding was on point. Trust me, I noticed right away. And even you mentioned in yellow, I believe you had some yellow 4s on. The Thunder 4s. Yeah. So I was just like, nah, I gotta holler at bro, because no disrespect to anybody out there, but I was seeing a lot of mids. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing a lot of mids, and it's like, all right, man, I see y'all trying, but I need to talk to somebody. Yeah, I was like, I need to talk to somebody who's deep in the culture. But nah, that's dope, man. But yeah, man. So I just right off want to ask you a question of when did your love for sneakers start? What was that moment where there was a certain silhouette or that sneaker that you saw where you were like, okay, this is what I want to be involved in?
I'm from Portland, Oregon. So home of Nike, Adidas. Now we have even more headquarters here. So truly, it was the day I came out the womb. I had OG soft bottom Air Jordan 5s on, the metallics from back in the day. My parents had me laced in all that type of stuff. My dad couldn't afford to get those things when he was a kid, and my mom just wanted me to be fly. So it was just a perfect combo for me to be a baby coming out the womb, just dripped in the best gear at the time, which was Jordans. And that was the OG era. So for me, it was stuff like that. And being born in 91, it was so random because the Air Jordan 6 came out that year.
Mm-hmm.
And years later, when I established myself as like, I'm going to be a collector and all those things, I was like, the Jordan 6 is my favorite model. And then I realized it was made the year I was born. And it was like, the black and infrared 6 is so clean. He won his first championship. And there was just like all these different things aligning with it. So still to this day, all the sneakers that I have, like the infrared Air Jordan 6 is always going to be like the one that
Top
hits
one.
home. I have every single retro and generation and iteration of the shoe. So definitely
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, it all started a long time ago.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing to hear. I think for me, I had to say it was the Air More Tempos, man. I remember seeing those and just
Yeah.
it took my heart, bro. I'm like, what are those? I need them.
Georgia the
And I was like,
Jungle.
bro, what? Yes, exactly. That's the movie where I saw him in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And I
everybody
was
did.
just like, oh my goodness, man. And then it's like I was an East Bay kid too. So, you know, I'm getting the magazine
Oh
circling things
yeah,
that I wanted. My
with the
mom's is going
Dadas.
crazy. Bro, oh my gosh, dog. You said the Dadas though with the
With the
spinners on the
spinners,
side. Oh,
everybody was
bro.
on that.
Brutal game, bro. Brutal game. Um, but you know, that's dope that you are able to you know, relate your life and those moments to stories relating to that are attached to silhouettes and everything, which is one thing that
Hmm.
Nike does really well with the branding is storytelling, right?
Definitely.
So with you being attracted to that and all of that, when did you decide that, hey, I want to become a brand? Like, because you know, ultimately we're all walking brands, but you have to give life to that brand. So when did you start giving life to the DJ Sneakerhead or the DNA brand?
Um, I think when I was in high school and I was collecting, and I told my dad like I wanted to open a store. He had already been doing things in the music industry and the club scene, all different types of stuff like that. So he was like, "You got to build a brand around yourself. What are you gonna be known for? What are you gonna look like? What's your style gonna be? Like, how can people identify you these different ways?" So it's actually funny because these glasses that I still wear to this day are some glasses that I was wearing way back then, and everybody used
Wow.
to make fun of me because it was the old man glasses and all that stuff. Then years later, now I'm seeing everybody wearing them, and I'm like, it's just hilarious. But that was like
Mhm.
my thing because I was like, my grandpa had some, and they look dope, and I was like, I want to have some of those too. Even though I was like 18,
Yeah.
19 years old, I didn't care. Like, I was like, that's gonna be
Hmm.
my style because it was different at the time.
Yeah.
So like those little things like that, or like the way I had worn my hair for a long time, like I had a big old fro, like I had like it was like a mohawk, like it was big because I played football and everything. And
Hmm.
then I had the high top with everything, like just doing that, like the kid and play style, everything. Like
Yeah.
just making those things that was a little bit different for branding myself. And then now it's like more with the braids and everything. But I don't know, it kind of started at that younger age and just being consistent with my style and not really like when with the things that I wore because I didn't want to like fit in with all the trends that everybody was wearing. Everybody knows me.
Hmm.
Like I'm gonna pull up to a meeting. It could be a corporate meeting with Nike or some other billion-dollar company. I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm rocking sweats or something real comfy. I'm being me throughout this entire process, and my style hasn't really changed as much over the years. So
Hmm.
I think all that type of stuff has just really been key to my branding that everybody knows me as like he gonna have some fresh kicks on, he gonna be
Yeah.
chilling, he gonna be ready to work, but I can still take him serious, like all that type of stuff. So I think it was kind of a mix of that. And then when I got to making my own clothes and my own stuff when I was doing my first business, I literally like, yeah, I wore like Nike sweats and stuff, but I was wearing like only my stuff or somebody else's stuff that I knew. Like I'm like, we're huge in putting money back in our community, even if it's
Hmm.
like eating at the restaurants that's close in our neighborhood. Like, why would I go spend it at a big chain when I could support the mom and pop shops? So like all
That's
those
right.
type of things. It was the same thing with clothes and stuff like that. So same thing. You wouldn't really see me wearing like any designer brands or anything. It's like I'm rocking my homie stuff or I'm rocking my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Building that brand awareness with things that you interact with on a daily basis, which I think is super important. I think that it needs to be not necessarily taught, but it needs to be shown more. You know, like
Hmm.
you see celebrities and all these people, they rock their friends' stuff. You know what I mean? Like whenever their homies is doing a show, or whatever, they'll be front row. They'll be the first one to be draped in that stuff. So why
Yep.
can't we do it for for our friends in our neighborhoods or in our communities? I think it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know
Yeah.
where anybody's gonna be at different point in life. So I think you make a great point there. I want to ask you too about the DNA show. I know when we first met,
Hmm.
you broke it down to me what it meant and how like it was such in line with things that you were already doing. I don't want to say too much because I
Hmm.
want you to break it down.
Yeah.
Um, but explain to the audience what is the DNA show? What is that metaphoric or that I guess that a sign that you saw regarding to DNA
Right.
and why you adopted it and branded it.
I like things that are very universal to a lot of other things. It's easy
Mhm,
to then switch or do whatever you need to do because when you have a certain identity through a name, you then get stuck in that identity, right? So it's like this DNA show, if somebody doesn't know about sneakers, they wouldn't even know this is about shoes. Like it could
mhm,
literally be about anything. So that allows me to say I start my brand now and it grows into this other thing and I want to venture out to other things that cause my business and my brand to grow to something bigger, it will then align with this still and it would make sense to the broader audience because you got so many new people coming in compared to the old people that you had. So I always try to think about that when I'm coming up with different names. That was like my OG brand for sneakers was Flight School. And it was
mhm,
like spelled wrong. It was like SKOOL, but it
mhm,
was like people thought it was a pilot, right? Like nobody knew. But at the same
mm.
time, you think of flight school, you think like Jordan 6 flight school back in the day
Exactly.
when they ran the OG commercials and stuff for Sneakerhead. So it's like the double kind of meaning on that. And then it's just like what's in my
Mhm.
DNA. Everything that I love, everything that I'm about, everything that I support, I want to see or I want to learn. Like I'm gonna take you guys on the journey, enjoy the show, enjoy the ride. So it allows
Mhm.
me to then make different plays off of that same name. And then obviously Nike has the DNA archive where they have literally the history of all the sneakers are inside of that DNA.
Mhm.
So it just aligns perfectly with the branding of Jordan brand, with Nike, with sneakers, with you name it. So it's like just a perfect fit.
No, that's amazing, and I remember when you were breaking it down to me when we initially met or we was eating lunch, and I was just like, "Yeah, that's super fire," you know. And I wish that I mean, at least for me, I'm a nerd when it comes to branding. I'm always just trying to learn. I'm studying different brands and trying to see like the ins and out of it, the commonalities that they may have with other brands
Mm-hmm.
or their stories. And when you broke that down to me, I was like, yo, it's so deep, yes, so simple, but makes a lot of sense. Especially when
Mm-hmm.
I sat down and had a conversation with you. I was like, it makes total sense, man. That's super duper dope. So I just want to tell you that. And
Nice.
with yeah, no, for sure. Within the DNA show too, man, I see you're very active. You're very present within the sneaker community, which is really dope because then you get to know your audience, which every brand does really well. Where did you
Mm-hmm.
learn that from? Just being present. Where did that come from? Because a lot of people say there are a lot of things, but when it comes to actually being present in spaces and interaction, not everybody is doing it. You know what I mean?
So I think the first thing I think of when you ask that question, I think of physically being present.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I'll answer the physical one first.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago, going to like always if I wanted to work with so and so, like this huge person that's got this opportunity to create something together that we could do something dope, not only just simply for the clout, but the actual like I think we would align because there's a lot of celebrities that I'm like I don't even want to work with them. Like it'd be cool to like go hang out or something, but like 9 times out of 10, there's probably nothing we would do. But when it's
Hmm.
somebody that I'm like I really want to work with, okay, where are they going to be at? What are they doing? All right, I need to physically be there. They always talk about it. How I don't know what the percentage is, but the hardest part is showing up, basically, right? So
Hmm.
for me, I'm like, I need to get in these places, and then as I start meeting people, I need to be okay. Who do I know that's here, and then how can I get into the VIP party or the this
Hmm.
or the that? So that way, when I go to the event, they're like, "Who is this? Like, why are you in the same room that I'm in?" You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And
That's
then
right.
6 months later, you're at the next event, and you're still in the VIP with me here too. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
see you here, here, and there, all around the country. and I'm popping in my head, you know, that they, you know, everybody be thinking they popping when they
Yeah, yeah,
got
for
the social
sure.
status, right? So
Yep.
that, oh, I'm popping and you not, who are you? So it's always that part right there of being present allows me to get my foot in the doors, create new opportunities, and then just being there is a huge key. That's always tell people, like, once you see people multiple times, usually by the third or fourth time, especially, like, they're gonna be wanting to talk to you.
That's
And they're
right.
gonna be like, all right, what's up, bro? Like, who are you? What's up? And then by then you can have a conversation. You're like, yeah, I'm just a regular old dude. You know, I'm just doing my thing. So
That's right.
I think that's and then obviously going to the opposite side when it comes to meeting your subscribers, your fans, your people that support you, going to all those events as well. Because when you
Mm-hmm.
pull up, now you're creating a huger bond with that subscriber. Say they subscribe to you, they watch some of your stuff, they like it. All right, cool. They meet you in person, they might have liked you 30%. Now
Mm-hmm.
you might have got them at 90% or 120%.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it then generates new leads, new opportunities. People are like, I met you, I support you, I like you even more. You're better than what you were online. You're even better in person. I had to buy one of your hoodies. And then it's like you got
Mm.
all that stuff going. So I'm not saying you're doing it just to sell an extra hoodie or anything, but at the same time, you can see the translation between it when you have that interaction with the person, and the next thing you know, they're commenting on all your future videos. Oh man, I saw you at so and so. And it's like great to see that. And then you comment back that one or two times as you can, as you see it. And then it's like super fan. And
Yeah.
then it's like, all right, how many times can I do that and continue to build and grow my audience? Which just takes repetition and practice. And then after that, it's like, all right, cool. We got a solid base of people here. So I think that kind of answers the physical and part of the digital part of like just being aware of what's going on and
Mm-hmm.
understanding every action has a reaction, and what are you going to do with your opportunities when you get there.
No, for sure. I think that's really good with what you're saying, especially being aware of the brand power that you do have. You know, like when you walk in a room, you're representing yourself and your product, but also in this case, being a content creator, having a channel or multiple channels, you're representing your space, your digital space as well, where people come, subscribe, get information that they also take with them to be able to exist in the community that we're all interacting, exchanging, and all that with. So I think that you made amazing points. Now, I do have another question because with you, I mean, you have what? You're at 250,000 plus subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, man, and it's been growing crazy. We didn't picked up over 10,000 subscribers like in the past 2.5 weeks. Like I've
That
been
is
like cracking
insane.
some codes, bro. I've been trying to figure it out, so it's working.
Hey man, look, we gotta talk because I'm working, bro. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to make sure
Yes,
I
sir.
continue to give quality content. Of course, that's the key. But of course, there's
Definitely.
other things that you need to do. But not with you having that big of an audience and everything. Of course, you got your subscribers now. You got people who are not just subscribing to your YouTube; they're subscribing to other like your website, your show, other stuff that you have
Hmm.
going on now, with doing all that, right, and having that following, what are the conversations like when you're positioning yourself to do brand partnerships or having relationships with other brands like corporations, like a Nike, like
Hmm.
a Brand Jordan? How does that work? Or even just, like the mom and pop shop sneaker store that's in your community. How do
Hmm.
you position yourself to be able to do something like that as a brand?
I think typically, yeah, when you work with a larger company, it's like, um, what's my comparison? I don't know, but either way, when you work with a larger company, like you just charge them more. It's just typically what it is. So when it comes to
Yeah.
that part, like the monetary side, it's like, yeah, we're all gonna chase the bag when we get the big company coming at us. Like, yeah, we want
Mhm.
to try to get that. But I think the biggest thing that's most important for me is like, do I actually like this brand? Do I actually support this
Mhm.
brand? Do I support the store or not? Because same thing, I'll turn down money any day because people know it's not that I need to work with you, it's that I want to work with you. And that's
Yeah.
going to be the difference. Even if you need to work with them to need to get that money, don't let that control you because that will then change the type of creator that you are, the deals that you
Mhm.
do, how you navigate. So even if you're in those times where you're a struggling creator and you're still trying to get the bag and all that stuff, you got to have that mindset of like, yeah, okay, I got X amount of subscribers now. but I always treat it like I got 1 million subscribers. Like I always got like I got it like that, because I got to hold myself to my standard and not just like step back down and go back, do this thing I didn't want to do. So I always think about that. And then I stay 100% honest with all the brands. Like, look, I see y'all doing this with so-and-so and all that, and I like this part, but look, I'm trying to do this. And if not, like, it's cool. And if we can't work on this deal, we can do something later. Or
Yeah.
this product right here that you want me to promote, it's honestly not that good. I don't like it. I like this
Mm-hmm.
instead, or whatever. Like, and I'm willing to give you guys constructive criticism on the thing. So I'll be telling them straight up, and they love it because of that, because everybody else is typically like, oh, yes, thanks. I get to do a brand deal with you. Oh. And I'm like, that's where you fall into the trap. They say, oh, we'll
Yeah.
give you $1,000. And it's like, bro, you should have been charging $5,000 to $7,000 for that.
Yeah.
And if you was a bigger creator, you could have charged more. So just always being aware of those type of things, and, you know, knowing your power, because again, they need you just as much as you need them.
No, that's true. That's true, man. It's goes into the whole thing of knowing your worth. And I do have another question, like with that segues with what you were saying. When is it like? When did you find your worth though? Because like it's easy, like when you get to a certain point, but when you're starting out, you're just trying to get somebody to work with you, so then you can get to the next
Right.
opportunity. Um, like I feel like a lot of times people don't have that mentality, um, understanding, hey, I'm a brand. This is my mission.
Mm-hmm.
This is my vision. These are the values that I stand on. This is where I want to be in the next month. This is my customer or my subscriber that I want. This is what I'm gonna be teaching people. Like, when did you come to the point where you was like, okay, I know my worth, because like I said, not everybody's there yet.
Mm-hmm. So it might sound whatever way people want to interpret it, however they want to say it, but I knew my worth from the day it started. And
Mm,
before I had 500 subscribers, literally before I had
mhm.
500 subscribers, I had people flying me and my friends out to go to events, paying for the
Wow.
whole trip, food, hotel, flight, you name it. So people to say like, oh, you got to have this to get that. No, it's not like that. If you're providing a true
Yeah.
value, even if it's like, okay, cover those expenses, get me in the door, and then from there, I don't expect anything else. But now I got the free trip, and I'm able to go and then, capitalize off of the content and do that and work with the brand. That's fine too. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, they'll wait thinking that they're not worthy of that. And I'm like, bro, that still
Mm,
costs money. Otherwise, you coming out of your pocket, an extra $1,000 or $2,000 for the trip, the hotel, the food, the Uber, the this, the that to get in the event. Now you got the free pass in, you're getting in early, you got the flight, food, you're not worried about nothing, you're not overthinking stuff. So it
mhm.
comes down to, like we said, getting to events, networking, doing those type of things. Hey, all right, cool. You got this next thing coming up. It's going to be in town. How can we make it align? And then kind of strategizing between those things. But yeah, for me, people will be surprised when I tell them, but if you look back way back in the old videos, you'll see I'm out there with my
Yeah.
homies. Expenses are covered. Everything's covered. We out here creating videos before we even have 1,000 subscribers on the channel.
Yeah, yeah. Now that's amazing. That's really good. So, I'm sure for you, it started back, also in the house too. You know what I'm saying, with your pops working
Yeah,
in the music industry, knowing how that world works and everything. So you had the gems, you know what I mean, and
right.
implement it, and you knew how to move. So that's amazing. Let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on what brands are doing within the sneaker community when it comes to collaborations? Is there too many collaborations going on, or do you think there aren't enough?
Um, okay. Damn. I'm trying to think about this is a lot. I was just thinking about something too about knowing your worth still. That's why, because I forgot I didn't get it out there. If it's okay if we backtrack for a second.
No, for sure, for sure. Let's do it.
Understand your worth. Understand your worth, but don't overvalue yourself too much. Like, be
Mm,
realistic. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like, if you don't have the proof in the pudding and you just making this facade, I always tell everybody, I want a long relationship with a brand. I
Mhm.
don't want a one night stand. I
Yep.
don't want to, oh, I got this thing, and then now you didn't fulfill what they wanted, and then you're not working with them no more. I want
Yeah, that's
to,
true.
I'm worth this. I can do this. And then once I do this, you're like, oh, I'm happy. That's like, I say, hey, I want to get what's your goal for people you want on your email list?
Mm,
Okay, cool. Let's get those. Let's set up the landing page. Let's get it going. Great. All right. Well, I already tripled that, and we haven't even finished halfway through the promo.
yeah,
Now they're like, oh, we're ready to work. Like we're doing more. So I can know my value in doing those things, and then I can let them set the standard. And I'm like, cool. I can outdo that right now. No
that's right.
problem. So understanding your worth, being able to measure it, and then not overvaluing yourself. Yeah, I'm not a million subscribers, so I can't charge $50,000 for a brand deal right now. It just doesn't work. Like I
Hmm.
gotta build my stuff up still.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's real. That's real. I mean, even for me, like I've had to go through that before, where I just was like, man, I've never done this before. So I had to go like sit down. I had to read some articles too. And then I hit up some of the homies who had done some stuff where companies have flown them out, cover stuff, per
Yep.
diem and all that stuff. And I was just asking a whole bunch of questions. And they were like, hey, nah, you got to say this. You might want to change your verbiage. Uh, why don't you just start doing this to show them that this is what you can do and this is what you can bring to the table? Like you said, the proof has got to be in the pudding. You can't just be throwing numbers out and then dig yourself a hole, and then they're like, well, now you look like a doofus at that
Right.
point.
Right.
so
Exactly.
so nah,
Exactly.
you gotta know, to know your worth. You have to know what you're capable of, um and then
Hmm.
exercise what you have faith in being able to do in the future. So that's good. But yeah, man, so on the question, with brands, do
Yeah.
you think there's too many collaborations going on, or do you think there aren't enough? And the reason why I asked this question is because brand collaborations are great. It's dope. You're pretty much building
Hmm.
relationships and crossing audiences to build bigger ones.
Hmm.
But sometimes maybe some brands don't need that. So that's why I asked the
Right.
question.
Yeah. I think certain collabs are like they are doing amazing, and it's like, yes, keep pumping it out. And then there's other ones where it's like you had your run
Hmm.
and the time might be gone. I don't know if I can specify any specific brands or anything in this, if anybody's gonna get
No, no,
mad,
please,
but
no, please feel free, bro.
okay,
Yeah,
let me
please
give you
feel
an
free.
example. Let me
Yeah.
give you an example. Remember Dover Street Market?
Uh huh.
You remember the ones that came out and they were like
Yeah, yeah,
$1,000
yeah.
and everybody was going crazy. Now they're like
Yeah, I remember.
$220. Nobody cares, right? It's like,
Sheesh.
okay, you had your run. That's cool and all, but time's up. You know what I'm saying? On to the next
Yeah.
thing. Like, okay, now we got Union coming in, which I think is getting to that point where it's like you had your run, but
Hmm.
the time might be up unless they come out
Yeah.
with some fire because it's starting to get a little too saturated. And I'm
Yeah.
scared for Ama because of those reasons. I don't
Mm.
like they got fire drops, boom, boom, boom. But you just see like the twos, the ones, like based off naturally you just base value off of like
Yeah.
success, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
you look at the sneaker, it's like, okay, well, if people want it or not, they're gonna pay a premium for it. If not, it's just gonna be sitting on the shelves, and it's like the Khaled fives. You build
Yeah.
up all this hype, and they're sitting on shelves, nobody wants to buy them. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah. I
they're
just
going
saw
for under retail. You know what I'm
I
saying?
just saw a video today that I think they were somewhere like at 40% off, or
You see
something
what I'm
like
saying?
that.
So it's like
Yeah.
there's all these things. So it's like, is that a situation where you're looking at it? Oh, no, okay. Is that a situation where I'm trying to get my own Jordan shoe? That's why I'm trying. I be telling them the same stuff. I
Yeah,
sit
yeah,
in the
no.
meeting saying the same. I'm gonna say it to you anyways. But is that a situation where it's like, okay, yeah, Khaled's cool, but we know that he's not a real sneakerhead, so because of that, it doesn't. It just doesn't equate. Like
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
don't connect with it as much.
And the thing is too, like customers and consumers are not dumb, right? At least the ones who like really pay
Right.
attention, compared to the ones who are just throwing money because it's a hype or whatever. They're just trying to keep up with trends. But I think for people like ourselves who like really love this, we wanna know the story. We wanna make sure the story like actually can marry to the brand and the brand's
Yeah,
DNA and what's going on. You know what I mean?
that's
So
it.
I
And
I I, I understand.
yeah, it's I gotta clear it up with Khaled still because I love Khaled stuff. I love all the stuff that they got
Yeah, for
going.
sure.
Even though I think the the friends and family versions was better, but that's typically what the brand always does. They
Yeah,
give
yeah,
you
that's true.
the like build up the hype, and then be like, oh yeah, but you can have this. And we'd be like, ah, bruh.
Dude,
So
that happened
that's
to
I
me
think.
with the I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say that happened to me with the Pata sixes. Uh, I was like, yo, these are so fire. I remember it was like a winter blue situation going on. I was like, I need
Yep.
those. Come to find out they're only friends and family. So I ended up getting the brown pair. I was excited still, but I'm like, that's not I really wanted the other joints. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
at, at that point is like as a consumer, you just kind of like, man, you're happy. It's like, yeah, I get what I
It's like
can. You know what I mean?
it's like consolation prize. It's like, yeah, yeah, I guess I'll take that.
Yeah, I get, it's all right, Eh. And that's what the whole sneakers app, man. Jeez, bro. Like they have all these collaborations on there. People
Hmm.
be getting super hype. I'm sure a lot of people are saving, notify me, and everything.
Yep.
And then it's like, dang it, you know what I mean? Didn't get them joints,
They're I
or
mean, they're genius the way they do it because
oh
they
yeah,
build up the hype, they get people on there, they go crazy, they don't get them, and then it's like they're right back at it for the next one,
yeah.
and the
Oh,
next one,
bro,
and the next one, the next one, and then like
look,
even if the shoe doesn't sell out, they just say it sold out, and then they restock it months later when it's quarter end. If people pay attention, if you look at quarter end, they always restock a bunch of stuff because they need to make sure that they hit the numbers for the
yeah,
stockholders.
not for sure. For sure. And look, man, look, I love Nike too. I love Nike, especially like 80s, 90s Nike basketball sneakers. Love them.
Yeah,
And I see that there's I mean, people, I'm sure they're paying attention, but there's this whole penny thing going on right now. They're
mm-hmm.
pumping out as many pennies as possible. I love it. I'm good for, hey, Nike, somebody at Nike, I'll send you my address. But anyway,
Hey, they brought
but
little Penny back too. I saw him surfing. I was like, what?
bro, yeah, with Stussy, like that collaboration looks
Yeah,
amazing, by the way. See, see, collaborations like that, man, I'm all for it. I'm all for it because
yep,
it's like it brings a nostalgic feeling, is marrying two different worlds with streetwear and basketball, but also too, it's reintroducing to a new audience. Hey,
yeah,
this is what your pops or your uncle or your big brother, you know what I'm saying, was rocking. So now it's like you're starting conversations in households where it's like, yo, back in my day, when I was your age, I used to go crazy for this. Like it makes
yeah.
sense, you know? But
It's
for
it's it's
other,
crazy thinking of like being a little kid, seeing a little Penny, and then on the commercials and stuff back then, and then now, it's just all coming back, and it's like it's just wild. It's so wild.
yeah, it's and that's why I call it, like I said, man, that a great collaboration. Now with some other ones, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, but you mentioned, I'm on my near with what they're doing. I haven't been able to really partake in those. I think they look cool. It's not, I'm not jumping out my seat when I see them all the time. I think
Hmm.
I more than anything, I think it's a dope um cause behind the shoe with what Jason
Hmm.
Whitner is doing. I think I support that more than anything. I think I try to get a pair of threes for my wife. But I do see like, okay, because I think they are what, the 4, and then they have a 12 coming out.
Yep.
So I hope that they're able to do something
You
amazing.
see what I'm
I think
saying? It's
because
like,
for
what you're gonna
me,
run out of numbers.
yeah, because for me, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do after the 12? Because after that, I think I don't know what you're gonna do at 17. I don't know. People,
I wouldn't mind a Jordan 6. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I know you a 6 guy. You know what I mean? Jordan 6 will
Yeah.
actually be fire, man. I hope they. Oh yeah, actually, I'm at my just pictured in my head. I think it will look super fire. Um,
Yeah.
but I, I do think that maybe what these brands are doing, and not just Nike, but others too, they're trying to have like that Travis Scott uh type of value that shock like everybody going
Yep.
crazy, because it's nobody really expected for Travis Scott to do what he's doing. At least I didn't. I'll speak for
See,
myself. I didn't
uh,
expect that.
Okay, so when I saw the way they rolled out the Jordan 4 when they did the purples and the browns and everything,
Mm-hmm.
I knew from that point right there, we got the next Eminem on our hands,
Wow.
yet they're allowing the public to get it. Because
Mm.
if you look at the Eminem, like the Eminem 4s and the 2s and stuff, like that was only for friends and family, basically.
Bro,
Like the
those
Eminem
were
2s,
straight
there was like,
ghosts.
yeah, there was like 300 pairs that came out. So
Hmm.
realistically, it's like not really a drop, right?
That's
So
right.
you look at the 4s and it's like F and F. This is similar to that, but a purple version, like something we never seen. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have a problem on our hands. Like everybody's gonna love this. Whatever he does, it's gonna work. And
Yeah.
it's been working. Even some of the like trainers and the Air Max and stuff, like they're not
Hmm.
hitting like crazy. But if you
Yeah.
look at the overall resale price on those compared to normal ones, it's like they're doing pretty good still.
Yeah. Because the thing I think that people want to, and look, man, Travis Scott could do a Roshi run and people will go crazy. The reason why I think is because people want to be part of the story. People want to be
Mm-hmm.
part of. They want to be able to say like, "Yo, I got a piece of the story," which and grand scheme of things, that's when like a collaboration makes sense.
I think
But
I think Virgil did it for Travis Scott though,
mm, that's good.
because the hype came because of Virgil.
I agree a
He
thousand
opened the
percent.
door for collaboration, the greatest collaboration of all time, right?
I Yeah,
So
yeah,
so if that goes in the category as the greatest collaboration of all time, and you are in like the engine is just on fire, just roaring right now, and everything's going up, and then it's like you drop that right in between it, it's like hard not to have success with that momentum
yeah.
behind the brand and all the energy, especially in the Jordan category. Because remember, the Jordan 1 is considered as one of the greatest collabs of all time. Even though he did
Hmm.
majority Nike sneakers, which
Hmm.
put him more in the Nike category of collaborations. You see some in the
Hmm.
background right there, right? Like, but
Yeah, yeah,
with the Jordan 1 right there, it's like, oh, we need more Jordan collabs that are like this.
yeah,
And then,
yeah,
like I said, after that, it was like you think of other Jordan collabs, Undefeated, Eminem, different stuff like that. It's like those were never available to the public. It was always
hmm,
like it was this ancient sneaker that you'd never seen in person type thing.
yeah.
And then now it's like right when they did that, it was just like he opened the door for him to go crazy.
Now he really did an amazing job with how he did it, so just smoothly, swiftly. It's just crazy that he did it, but it was just like I don't even know how to explain it. He made it seem so effortless. Um, the way he
Mm-hmm.
did it, the rollouts, the everything. I mean, I don't think there's one
Yeah.
person that's like, nah, I don't like these. Like, there's something that you want from that collaboration.
Right.
Anything that he put his hands on, somebody wanted something
And that was
to
the
it, and
thing
I think
too.
it
Like
makes him more special.
you look at the OG, you look at the off white ones, and it's like now let's take it back to even farther. Like the off white ones wouldn't have been successful if it wasn't for him respecting the OG.
Hmm.
And if he didn't respect the OG and did something else, it would I don't think it would have hit the same. But all three of the
Yeah,
off white ones are based around the OG colorways, UNC, Chicago, and white and neutral gray. So when you make that colorway that's already iconic and nostalgic, it's gonna hit. And then same thing with the
yeah,
fives, right? You took metallic fives and fire red. So like
yeah,
that's playing off of the OG. So it's like when you respect the history of the game and the OGs and all that stuff, it makes it easier for me as a creator to come and create content around this stuff based off the OGs, pulling back the stuff from the past, showing these new
hmm,
sneakerheads all this stuff on like a social standpoint through content and everything like that. And then when it comes to a creative through product, it's the same thing. It's like the story, the nostalgic, the Nike era, all those different things that we see on these shoes relating to that type of stuff. So if you look at the top, off whites especially, they're all
yeah,
kind of related to those OG colorways.
yeah. No, no, that's good. And I'm glad that you dissected like that, because even just as you were saying all that, I was just thinking like, dang, what Virgil did. like when he referred to the OGs and hinted at those through design and branding, he literally just made us dream again. Like when we was kids,
Yep.
like I want those, or I want to be able to jump in those. I want to be like Mike.
Yeah.
But this time it was like, now I want to be like Virgil. So he
Yeah.
really, really, nah, he killed that, man. And I'm excited for what's coming. I know his wife mentioned that, hey, we still got
Yeah.
heat coming. So I'm excited
Yeah.
for all that. It's gonna be
Did you
scary
see
out
all
here in
those
the
Air
streets,
Force Ones?
bro.
Did you see all the
Yes,
Air Force Ones? Bro, there has
yeah,
to be at
man.
least a couple hundred different versions alone just based off of the Louis Vuitton ones. Because
Hmm.
there's got to be like 100 different Louis Vuitton ones alone.
Oh
And then the
yeah.
Nike ones. Like,
I
it's just
mean,
crazy.
it shows how much he loved what he was doing, but it like being a kid again. Like, you know, like when you go
Hmm.
like to sneaker events sometimes and they do stuff for kids, they got the little Air Force One printouts. And then, you know, there's kids who
Yep.
are just coloring outside the lines, but then there's this always like that one kid where you're like, hold on, how
Right.
old are you again? Like, this joint is
Yep.
fire. Here, do another one.
Yep.
That's
Right. Like, I
Virgil.
need to
Like,
put that on Nike ID.
yeah, facts. You know what I mean? But bro, I mean, how many bro, there's so many times I've been up like just on Nike ID making different, you know, variations. I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna go crazy. But just to see what Virgil's done is amazing, man. He definitely brought some amazing things to Nike, Brand Jordan, all of that, whatever you want to call it. It's just amazing. Um, moving forward, man, I do want to ask you, um, you know, what are things that you're looking forward to doing with continuing to build your brand, the DNA show, and just building relationships, man, with you know with brands. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to?
When I see myself working with brands now, I've been kind of seeing it more, especially in the past couple weeks. I want to I'm a brand. Somebody else is a
Hmm.
brand. I want to work on more of those type of brands. The other
Hmm.
creators that's got their brands and different stuff like that. I think that's the new wave of like seeing uh it could be destroying.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it could be the dude that does football content. Like what if there was a DNA destroying
yeah. Mm,
collaboration or
yep,
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of things because I see that and I'm like I rock with bro.
yep.
I finally got to meet him, so now we got a conversation going. And I've been in a football background. We both love shoot like, and you start thinking about those type of things. So I was like, what are these other creators that have their brands as well that actually align, that really make sense, that will feel organic, like you said, be smooth and just kind of roll right into it. So that's what I've been thinking about more, just other creators as brands and how our brands would align even better compared to just being like, oh, I want to work with so and so because they got a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really good. That's really good, bro. And also too, man, before we wrap up, because I want to respect, you know, our times and everything. I know you got moves to make.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's good, it's good.
yeah. Where can people tap in with you, man? How can they find you? What's your you know, your socials and everything, and what you have going on that they can partake in?
So I'm usually DJ underscore sneakerhead or DJ Sneakerhead on a lot of the platforms, all the social stuff. And then when it comes to YouTube, it's going to be DNA show on there, just DNA show. And then I have a DJ Willingham, which is my name. I have a second channel for that about finance, real estate, and everything like that. I get stuff on there as I can, but I definitely want to step that up as well. I got a lot of knowledge to provide when it comes into the new year from my previous investments and different things like that with multiple properties and stuff. So I want to be able to be another vessel of just information and stuff like that in that space, showing people, hey, you can turn sneakers into real estate and you can turn that into passive income and have
Hmm.
free time to create videos that you want to do and not be stressed about it and those different things. So I just want to show people it's possible. I did it. You can do it too, type thing.
Man, that's amazing. Well, DJ, bro, I really appreciate you, your time, everything you're doing. You know, I'm a big fan. I'm tapped into what you're doing. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with DJ as well. Well, bro, thank you, man. And I think we had an amazing conversation about
Yeah,
branding. Thank you for
definitely.
breaking things down too when it comes to the sneaker community. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. I'm your guy, Denis Boateng. This has been Branded Like a Pro. You guys make sure that you subscribe, leave your comments below, and tap in with us. All right.
Oh yeah, and one final
What's good? What's
note
good?
before we cut
Yeah,
off.
go ahead.
Hey, we got a lot of things going on in life right now.
Mhm.
Everybody's been having tough times. I want to let you know that you have been amazing as well. You
Oh,
are a
thank
great
you.
example of a father
Thank you.
and representing our community and doing great for us. And everybody out there, if you need any help from either one of us and you're watching this, make sure you reach out to us.
Yes.
Everybody is going through something. Be nice to everybody.
Yeah.
Continue to love each other and love what you do, and you will have an even better experience, and you'll grow even faster to get to where you want to be.
Most definitely.
Now we can go.
Yeah. No, that's good, bro. I appreciate that. That was good. That was good. So yeah, thank y'all, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.